The dense jungle stretched endlessly, a labyrinth of towering trees, tangled vines, and the constant hum of unseen life. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers, mingling with the distant calls of exotic birds. Deep within this untamed wilderness, where few dared to venture, lived an enigmatic figure known only as the Guardian. Legends spoke of him in hushed tones, whispered by those who had glimpsed a shadow moving silently through the undergrowth or heard the rustle of leaves when no wind was present. Some believed he was a spirit, a protector born from the jungle itself, while others claimed he was a man who had forsaken civilization to protect the secrets hidden within the emerald canopy. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: those who sought to harm the jungle rarely returned. It was just before dawn when a group of outsiders entered the jungle, their presence foreign and intrusive. They carried machetes and rifles, their eyes scanning the thick foliage with both caution and greed. They were here for something hidden, something ancient. The leader, a man named Victor Hale, had heard the rumors of a treasure buried deep within the jungle, guarded by forces unknown. To him, the stories were nothing more than superstition, tales spun to keep intruders away. But Victor was not a man easily deterred. As the team trudged deeper into the jungle, the terrain became increasingly unforgiving. Thorns tore at their clothing, sweat dripped from their brows, and the oppressive heat pressed down on them like an invisible weight. Every so often, they would hear the distant growl of something unseen, but Victor pressed on, driven by greed and the promise of fortune. Unbeknownst to them, they were being watched. From the shadows of the towering trees, a figure moved silently, his keen eyes never leaving the intruders. The Guardian had seen men like these before: poachers, treasure hunters, and loggers who came to take from the jungle without respect for its delicate balance. He had spent years protecting this land, ensuring that those who did not belong were met with swift consequences. Moving with the grace of a predator, he tracked their movements, studying their patterns and waiting for the right moment to strike. He blended seamlessly into his surroundings, his skin painted with natural pigments, his clothing woven from the very fibers of the jungle. Every step he took was deliberate, every breath measured. As Victor and his men set up camp near a river, the Guardian watched from a distance. The jungle around them seemed to grow quieter, as if holding its breath, waiting to see what would unfold. As night fell, the Guardian made his move. He struck with precision, disabling their equipment, scattering their supplies, and leaving behind subtle warnings: a broken branch here, a set of claw marks there. The men grew uneasy, sensing an unseen force at play, but Victor dismissed their fears, determined to press forward. The deeper they ventured, the more the jungle seemed to turn against them. Paths they had marked disappeared, strange noises echoed through the trees, and food supplies dwindled at an alarming rate. Paranoia crept into their minds, whispers of the Guardians spreading like wildfire among the crew. Some wanted to turn back, but Victor's greed pushed them onward, oblivious to the growing danger. One by one, the jungle claimed them. A man vanished in the night, his screams cut short by an unseen predator. Another fell into a concealed pit, filled with sharpened stakes. The survivors were left on edge, haunted by the ever-present sensation of being watched. Victor, though shaken, refused to believe in the legend of the Guardian. He thought it was just a clever trick, a series of traps laid by a cunning adversary. But the Guardian was more than just a man. He was a force of nature, a being in tune with the jungle in ways they could never understand. He knew the rhythms of the forest, the calls of the animals, and the whispers of the wind. Every step Victor and his men took led them further into his domain, where escape was no longer an option. As days passed, desperation took hold. Victor's once loyal crew began to turn on him, blaming him for leading them into the jungle's depths. Supplies were low, morale was shattered, and the jungle itself seemed to conspire against them. In the dead of night, the Guardian made his final move. He emerged from the shadows, his presence a ghostly apparition among the towering trees. With swift precision, he incapacitated the remaining men, leaving only Victor alone to face him. In the silence of the jungle, the two stood face to face. Victor, weakened and delirious, finally understood the truth. The Guardian was not a mere myth. He was real, and he was the jungle's protector. With a final warning, the Guardian spared Victor's life, forcing him to leave the jungle and never return. The once proud treasure hunter stumbled out of the wilderness, broken and humbled, carrying with him the weight of his mistakes. The jungle returned to its natural state, undisturbed and protected. The Guardian watched from the shadows, his duty fulfilled once more, waiting for the next intruder who dared to challenge the sacred balance of the wild.